Hi, it's Kathy, Crafty Chica. Have you ever wanted to make a book or maybe a lot of books? Check out this machine called the Cinch. Now, this tool has been around a while. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. I've had it for several years, but I just recently used it to bust out all of these amazing journals and notepads. So let me take you on the journey of what I created. I wanted to make some really nice art journals that also had my own personal touch to them. So for starters, I used Canva to design some pages, and I used a template that had the lines, and then I added in my own illustrations and cut the covers and pages to the size of your book. In my case, that was 5 by 7 inches. I went through my different pieces of art that I created, printed them out to 5 by 7 on glossy photo paper. You can use whatever paper you want. I wanted to use what I had on hand in my studio. My challenge was not to buy anything, to use what I already had, and because I want to turn these into profits. I'm making these books to sell. So I used some chipboard, and this was an old Loteria game with a lot of big pieces. It worked perfect as the chipboard for the backs of my covers. After that, I went through all of my papers and cut them to size 5 by 7. I arranged them in the order that I wanted the book to be, and I did my best to mix up the different textures of paper, because it's not just a journal, but it's kind of like a junk journal, with an art journal with all different types of experiences in there. I used notebook paper, scrapbook paper, cardstock, tissue paper, even some art prints. I created some exclusive pages in Canva. I put some vellum paper at the front, and I had enough for 6 books. So I laid them all out in the order that I wanted. And then here we go with the Cinch. It's really nice. It's very sturdy. It has this little hook to keep it nice and compact for easy storage. And then it has these little plugs to pull out according to the size of your paper. Now, mine is 5 by 7, so I didn't need to pull out any of the plugs. Before you start punching anything for your journals, do some scrap paper just to make sure that everything is even and aligned and you're happy with it. Once you feel confident with that, do your covers, punch the holes in your covers. So these covers, I trimmed them in colorful washi tape, and I lined it up there, push it all the way to the back as far as it will go, and then pull down that handle, the lever, to get a nice good punch. Look at that, perfect. So I did this for the rest of the covers for my books. Now it's time to work on the pages. For the pages, I suggest setting them out next to your machine, especially if you're doing a lot of books. You want to keep it easy, and tap them all so they're even, flush to the end, and definitely work several pages at a time. Not only so that it is easier to use the machine and punch the holes, but also you want to be able to check the pages and make sure that they are all right side up. Because if you start going too fast, trust me, you will get them mixed up, because I did that with one of the journals and I had to take it apart. So do a few at a time and don't rush through it. Make sure they all look good, just to save you time later on down the road. Punch so many pages, I thought I broke the machine, but you know what? There's a little tray at the back. All those little punches have to go somewhere. You can save them for Easter, cascarones, or you could just toss them out. Okay, so you're going to turn the machine around once you have all of your pages punched, and you're going to need a binding wire. Now, the binding wire, you can buy these online in bulk. You can buy them from the Cinch. You just want to look at what size it is, and also count how many holes that you have punched for your pages. For mine, 5 by 7, I had 12. So you want to go through and you want to snip off 12 of the binding wire and simply hook it on the side of the machine. And once again, I just like to double count everything, make sure I got it right. Adding the paper, it looks good. and we're good to go. Now, off of this one binding wire, I was able to make a 5x7 journal and a 4x6 notepad, or it could be a 4x6 notebook, whichever you prefer. Now it's time to put all of the book together. Take that back cover and set it aside. We don't need that yet. And start adding the pages for your journal. Again, several at a time so you can make sure they're all in the right direction. You're working from the back to the front. So add those in, make sure all of the holes are lined up evenly, and then add the cover face up. Now you're going to take the back cover and make sure that the front and back cover are facing each other. Put that in, and this is so that when you bind the book, the seam of the wire will be hidden within the back cover and you won't be able to see it, and it will look nice and professional. Move the binding wire with the pages off of those little hooks and put it at the back of the cinch. Line up the edges to the edge of the machine. Watch your fingers, and you're going to press down on that top lever that you use to make the punches. Nice and secure, very hard. You want to make sure that both ends of the binding wire overlap. And then you're going to move that cover around to the back, and there it is, the grand finale. It looks so good. I love these. I ended up with all of these journals. I made about 10 different notepads, and I put them for sale to sell at a local retailer. But let me show you what they look like inside. I used a variety of prints, coloring pages. The best part was using up my excess of craft paper that I had. I just used everything I had excess of. Plus, I have some journal pages that I created and added in there. Anything went. Anything I could punch a hole in, I added it in there, from printmaking, scraps, to pages I designed, coloring pages, pockets, wrapping paper, little creativity prompts, graph paper, loteria games. It just came out really nice and very on brand with Crafty Chica. I have these for sale in my online store, craftychicastore.com, and at Amor Collective in Peoria, Arizona. And I have a link to the cinch in my description. Thank you for watching. What do you think of this project? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and happy crafting!